Okay, so let's now talk about digital workflow. How do you go from taking all those photos to getting them home, getting them on your computer or in the cloud or on your phone or on your iPad, and making sure that they are safe and together where you need them to be? So what happens after you take that shutter button and you have an image? This is our workflow. What do we do next? You want to kind of think of this as like a pipeline or a conveyor belt, that each step takes the result from the previous task, meaning what you do next is because of what you did first. The whole process of organizing your images and other files is called digital asset management, or DAM. So think of it that way. Think of how you're managing your digital assets. You should start to pay attention to this sooner rather than later. This unit, this lesson was in the class way further down, like I think in like March. We decided to move it up because the sooner you get into good habits with this, the better off you are. Okay, so how do you do this? It's really up to you. There are digital asset management softwares that you can use that will help you to keep your material organized, your files organized. And it also is a nice way to kind of visualize everything you have. So obviously some ones that people know are Adobe Lightroom, Apple Photos does it. There's some free ones, Darktable, Ansel, Digicam. All of these things allow you to organize your images and visualize them, and some of them also allow you to edit them. Most of them do. But how do you organize? What's the best way to do that? We're going to look at my process in another video after this. So this video is just kind of introduce you to the idea of start thinking about it. So go through, read this first section here, and then we're going to look at how I organize my images, and which is not the end all be all, but just to give you an idea of what are some ways that you can start organizing your stuff. The other thing you really need to start thinking about is your backup. How are you backing up all of this information? There are lots of different ways you can do it. One method that comes up quite a bit is the 3-2-1 method. It's a nice simple way to remember this. But essentially you should have at least 3 copies on 2 different types of media storage, and 1 should be off-site. So if you have stuff on a hard drive, a physical solid-state hard drive at home, maybe you have other versions in the cloud, or maybe you have another hard drive that you bring to a friend's house, the office, in case of, fires, floods, whatever. And then you kind of switch them back and forth. But you should have multiple versions of everything. I will tell you a personal story. I went to film school a billion years ago, and every single one of my college films is lost. It's gone forever. I had them on a hard drive, and like I said, this was 1,000 years ago, and the hard drive was like this big, and it needed to be plugged into the wall to even work. And after college, I moved to London, and I brought it with me. And then when I had to leave London, I left a box in the basement and asked my housemate to send it back to me. And I think you can guess where this is going. It never made it to me. I went back to London like 6 months later, and none of my housemates were living there anymore, but I went and knocked on the door and I said, please let me go look in the basement. But it was gone. So somewhere out there, there's a huge hard drive that may or may not even work anymore with all of my college films on it. That was a rough lesson to learn. So I don't want you guys to learn that lesson. I'll also add that this was before YouTube. There was a different service that we shared our videos on that I can't even remember. It was before YouTube, before Vimeo. So they're up there on some server somewhere, but I'll never see them again. So just keep that in mind. Don't let that be you, and make sure that you have various backups in various forms of media. All right. This is the last unit, last lesson in this unit. After this, after you get through all of this, you're going to find a quick knowledge check, a quick quiz to take. Go through that, and then head on into your assignment for this unit.